Well, listen, these additional benefits are going to be able to affect and serve our veteran community because there's so many different veterans who are looking for employment to make sure they are, receiving adequate financial and stability with also a sense of purpose. And this is going to be able to provide that, right? By being able to obtain a degree, right? A college degree, attaining any type of certifications, supporting family members with their education. Mind you, remember, these benefits can be transferred to family, right? Again, dependents, spouse, children. So that is a big cushion that is going to cover your tuition, that is going to cover books, housing stipend, and so on and so forth. So please, veterans, take advantage of this, and the time is now. Do not wait. Take advantage at any cost. All right.
No, absolutely. That's great stuff, Kenneth. So now, obviously, everyone watching has questions, right? They're trying to go down to their VA.gov account right now and see what's going on. So first up, that question, right? How can veterans know whether they're eligible for these benefits?
Well, first and foremost, let's go to the easiest access point that we have. What did I say? Records. Let's go ahead and figure out, again, in your DD-214, what were your periods of service? Okay, explain. Understandably, you must have 2 periods of service that actually qualifies for the Montgomery GI Bill and 1 that qualifies for the post 9/11. So with that being said, does your period of service apply? Secondary, right? Let's go ahead and figure out if you don't have 2 periods of service and you only have 1. Well, does that 1 period of service actually pushes you for the MGI Bill? Okay, and that's what they called it at the time, Montgomery GI Bill, transitioning to the post 9/11, right? And if so, again, you may qualify. But next step, let's actually go into VA.gov to under our educational tab to be able to check the remaining amount of benefits. Okay, by checking the remaining amount of benefits that you may have, and if you qualified for the post 9/11, or if you qualified for the Montgomery GI Bill, and now you could then actually be eligible for the remaining 12 months. That's huge and one big ordeal. Listen, you guys. This is very, very huge. Listen, if you are a veteran who was under the Montgomery GI Bill and you were actually transferred your benefits into the post 9/11, well, guess what? You have an additional 90 days on top of that. Okay, so that's 15 months that's going to be enacted on your behalf. So let's take advantage. Okay, don't wait. All right, though that you have to October 1st, 2030 to apply. Well, we don't know what that eligibility criteria may fluctuate. So go get your benefits reinstated now.
No, absolutely. And that actually kind of led to the next question, right? So if someone's benefits expired, can they still access the new benefits for the GI Bill?
If the benefits expired, well, guess what? If you have the goose egg, you do qualify. Okay, so if you have 0 benefits that is for left over, if you have 0 months, okay, 0 months and 0 days, well, you still qualify. Okay, so the expiration of the timeline to reinstate, to be able to reinstate your benefits for the month's purposes, that doesn't matter. You qualify. Okay, so make sure again that you have a strategic plan to be able to get that enacted.
No, absolutely. And thinking about being strategic here, we want to make sure our veterans maximize their benefits. That's first and foremost what we want to make sure. So what's the best way for veterans to maximize these new benefits?
Well, there's several different strategies to maximize these benefits. It's going to be, again, one is going to be based upon your actual planning of your degree or certification, or even on-the-job training. Do not forget, this can be able to be applied to on-the-job training as well, pending on, again, when we talk about the GI Bill, pending on obviously the job at hand. But again, that's something that's a little more nuanced, which we would have to, unveil, uncover, and kind of really be able to provide that actual plan, right? But at the end of the day, these benefits can be strategically applied based upon your goals. What your goals is, it matters to you. So at that point, we don't want to give a strategic plan if we don't have your details. So you can contact us where we can be able to provide that and actually get a little bit more information.
Wow, Kenneth, very, very powerful information here. Before we actually wrap up for today, veterans that are watching, again, if you know anyone that may qualify for these benefits, definitely let them know. Go ahead and send them this video here because we want to make sure the entire community is educated regarding this potential new update. So even if you are unsure, you want to still inquire and get those questions answered. But we want to continue to add value, right? So our veterans need to know. It's like, well, yeah, I can go to va.gov, I can call, I can do this. And we always talk about there's always a prescribed form. So what form do veterans need to look towards to actually apply for these benefits?
So listen, veterans, just as any other, prescribed form that we utilize, we must complete wholly and thoroughly. Okay.